These are really bad economic times that we're living in, and unfortunately, things are about to get a lot worse. It's like we got a hurricane sitting off the coast of Florida, and that hurricane is coming in. What is that hurricane? That foreclosures. Foreclosures are coming back in a really big way. And if you have any doubt about that, look around in your personal circle, your own personal finances. Understand that wages are down. Income is down, debt is at an all-time high, and unfortunately, this is going to be much worse than ever before because the fundamentals are so much worse. But let's talk about how we got here, how I got here. 2009, 10, 11, I was on the forefront of defending people in foreclosures. There's a Wall Street Journal article, which was really one of the first national attentions about what was happening in foreclosures. And in no way did anybody have any idea how bad things were going to get at that time. But that was the first. As the things started progressing, news really got a hold of this, and there was significant reporting over and over again. And I was frequently cited nationwide because foreclosures were on the forefront. Florida was number one. Always, we had problems like many other states did not. And I was doing my best to warn about the consequences that would happen. And again, when we started 9, 10, 11, nobody had any idea it would carry on for a decade or so. But in 2010, St. Pete Times, highly reputed newspaper, recognizes me, then Florida Trend. But the critical thing was this blog. So I had this foreclosure blog that highlighted these articles over and over again, highlighted issues. I'm really proud about all of the work that went into that and all the ways that by publishing information, warning consumers, putting pleadings out there, taking my responsibilities as a lawyer seriously, doing pro bono work for people. And I still get thanks today from people when I help them in foreclosure. And that's a really important thing. I really got to double down and do that in this next wave that's coming. Lawyers have a vital service to perform, and helping and serving our neighbors is a critical part of that. So one of the biggest scandals that erupted early on was GMAC foreclosure. They were one of the biggest lenders in the subprime market, and Florida was subprime. And they were the first ones that really kind of, we nailed them with some really horrendous, reckless business procedures that ultimately judges started reversing on. But that was the first indication that something was really wrong in the foreclosure world. The next thing was, as we started to see how bad things were and the grossly deficient procedures that the plaintiffs were learning and using, we tried to alert courts to this. And in this article here, it talks about what I call Kafka-esque courtrooms. I'll never forget being in courtrooms, and on the one side you have these plaintiff firms with their boxes stacked one after the other, and every single file was a home that some family was going to lose, some elderly person was going to get kicked out to the street, and they would just take that file and stand in front of the judge, and the judge would just kind of to bless it. And if nobody was there on the other side, or even if a pro se person was, boom, they'd lost their foreclosure. And the thing that really bothered me, and I'll never forget this to this day, was they didn't take that file over there and then pull out the judge's stamp and go kerchunk, kerchunk, kerchunk. You had to have like 5 copies or whatever. It just, I didn't like the message of the plaintiff having access to the judge's stamp and doing that. But, lo and behold, that's what it was. So, again, focusing back on this time to prepare us for where we are now, links to my website in here. Much of that information is not going to be relevant. We're going through an updating and all, and you'll note that I had much not less gray hair at that point in time. It's interesting from a historical perspective, all those foreclosure resources that you can see on here. But we're going to have to revamp and redo these things for what we're going to face here in 2026. But subscribe to that channel, subscribe to the website so that when updates come out, you can be alerted.